Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you here this evening to our Minuteman meeting.
Thank you, Max. I'll just take a moment. I know everybody's ready to eat and they've got the food ready, but I'd like to introduce the staff to you very quickly. First of all, we have with us this evening David Reeser, our Director of Operations, Tim Rodriguez, Chief Operating Officer, and his wife, Deborah. I saw her just, oh, there she is. Didn't see her walk up. Doug Worley, our Director of Engineering, was unable to be with us tonight. He also had some basketball games for his kids. J.D. Solik, our Accounting Supervisor, is here. James Burnett, our Station Engineer, and his wife, Michelle. Laurie Urban, my Administrative Assistant, signed you in earlier. Austin Partita will be taking a big role here in just a little while.
And our Minutemen program has been in existence in 1958. Some of the specific duties that our Minutemen have is, if you look over the history of our directors, a lot of them came from the Minutemen program. A lot of our sitting directors did, and some of our prior ones came from the Minutemen program. And to me, they're kind of a grassroots organization. You're our members. You're out there on our lines. There's been times when we've asked you to contact our legislators if we had an issue down statewide. There's times when you've gone down there with us to the state capitol to lobby for a particular bill. You're kind of the front line with our members. Of course, you do help us with the annual meeting, which Austin's going to talk about a little bit more here in a little bit. You're hopefully our advocacy group to our membership.
The President has asked the EPA to step in and issue rules. Recently, they've issued rules on new power plants restricting the levels of CO2 emissions. And those levels have been set such that coal-powered plants can't meet them. So he's effectively eliminated coal as a fuel source in the future. We need to work on coal plants, make them better, more efficient, emit less, but we shouldn't eliminate them. We have many, many power plants that were built really at the encouragement of the government back in the Fuel Use Act, back when we thought natural gas was scarce. We built many, many coal plants under the, and they encouraged it, and we did so. Those plants still have remaining life. We still owe money on those. We have debt to service, but we're afraid that these proposed rules will be so tight that they basically force these coal plants to shut down, and that is going to have a huge impact on customers' bills. And so we're concerned about taking that approach. We believe that we should take a more balanced approach, more of a glide path into this. So we are asking, and this is a national effort, we've got co-op members from across the country engaged in this messaging effort. We need to send messages to EPA asking them to take another approach. We refer to it as the all but one strategy that the administration is taking. What we'd really like for you to do before you leave, as Austin said, get your name on the list. It's not just a numbers game, because I don't believe we'll match the Sierra Club, but that's not what's important. If we're silent, you know what's going to come down the pike, and we got to have some balance. So that's my ask, and I think, being Minutemen, I think this is a great thing. Not all the co-ops do this, but this may be a perfect example of where you can help out.
Round of applause for our appreciation. Drove up here to be with us. Chris is doing a really fine job for us as a statewide organization, and we've made a lot of changes for the good for the organization. I'm especially proud of the effort they've made in regards to safety for our employees and the safety training stuff we go through, and Chris, thank you for that very much. Very quickly, the satellite lantern is the winner by a significant margin. So those of you that voted for the lantern, good job. Always like to take a minute or two to talk about your cooperative and to see if you have any questions. First thing I want to say, though, is that your cooperative is doing very well right now. We are inundated by the oil and gas industry and all the drilling and activity that's going on in our service territory, and it's not just in one area, it's all over KEC Electric service territory. We are making sure, with the guidance of our board of directors, that that industry is paying its own way. so that when the oil goes away, as some of us in here have experienced in the past, when we had an oil boom, and then what did we have, Earl? We had a bust. We don't want to be left hanging and have the residential consumers, which is our base load, our best load, and the people that created us, having to pick up what's left. So we're being very good stewards about how we approach what's going on in the oil patch right now. But to give you a point of how significant this is, over 80% of the kilowatt hours sold by your cooperative last year went to somebody besides a residential consumer. Now that's significant. Sure, we got a couple of casinos and we have a little bit of interstate commercial stuff, but the vast majority of it is the oil and gas industry. So we're going to enjoy this ride while we can. We're saving money for when it goes away, and we're going to try to be prepared all along. So that's kind of the nutshell of where we are today. It's great today. We want to be sure that tomorrows are as good as today is.